Okay, it's 1:36. So let's begin. Now, in algebra, we know that the numerator did I record this? Yeah, it is recorded. Okay. In algebra, we know that this type of polynomial is a trinomial. And the denominator is monomial. So trinomial, it means three-term polynomial. Monomial, it means a single-term polynomial. Whenever you are dividing with a monomial or a single-term polynomial as your denominator, dividing this is going to be easy because all you need to do is to separate each fraction. So you'll have 12x to the fourth all over x plus 8x cubed all over x minus 2x all over x. So that's basically how you divide a polynomial, or no matter how big your numerator is, as long as the denominator is a monomial or a single polynomial, you can do this. So we know that x to the fourth and x to the fourth divided by x is equal to 1. So this is just 4 minus 1 is equal to cubed. So this is 12x cubed. This one is 3 minus 1, which is 2. So this is 8x squared minus 1 is going to be 0. So it's going to be 2 times x to the 0. And we know that x to the 0 is 1 because any number, no matter how big or small it is, if you raise it to 0, it's equal to 1. So it's going to be 2. So this is your quotient. So that's how you divide a polynomial if there is a monomial as your divisor, which means, example 2, if I have 25x to the fourth minus 15x cubed plus 5 all over 5x. All right. But if we have this, can you please divide this? Okay. So if we're going to divide this, we will separate it so that it's easier to visualize. We'll have 25x to the fourth 5x minus 15x cubed all over 5x plus 5x all over 5x. So in this case, we'll have 25 over 5. So we know that 25, if you want to make it more visual, it's going to be 5 times 5, x to the fourth all over x minus 3 times 5, x cubed all over 5x plus 5x all over 5x. So we know that this will turn into, there's a 5 right here. By cancellation, we can cancel the common term. Cancel 1 here, cancel 1 here. So you are left with 3. So this is 5x cubed minus cancel 5 here, cancel 1 of the x's here. So you are left with 2 x's on top. So it's 3x squared plus 1, because we know that if the numerator is the same as the denominator, it's equal to 1. So this is now your quotient. Easy. So when you're working with a polynomial on top and as a divisor or a monomial as your divisor, dividing polynomial will be a little bit easier. But it's not just that, because we need to do more. So the next problem that we're going to be working on is, if we're going to organize this, this is a trinomial and or a two-term polynomial. So in this particular case, it's going to be different from our examples on 1 and 2 because now we have a binomial as our divisor. And when that happens, you're not going to be able to apply what we did a while ago. You cannot just separate it because now we have a binomial. So it's not going to work. So to be able to work out problems like this, we're going to be using long division. Okay. Now, this is going to be a little bit challenging than the Kramer's rule or the matrices we did for the past 3 weeks because working out problems like that are basically math problems that are procedural. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and we're done. However, when we do long divisions, it's a little bit conceptual because 1, you need to know your multiplication table really well. And 2, you need to know how to do long division. So since we're doing long division, can you use long division to divide this? 5 divided by 47. Okay, let's review. 5th grade mathematics. Is it 5th grade or maybe 4th grade? Can you please perform long division for this example? Just to refresh your memory on how to perform long division because we're going to connect it with our example number 3. 5 divided by 4, you cannot do that. So you need to work out 47. So you need to know your factoring technique. So how many times 5 goes to 47? Ariel says 9, and that's correct. And 9 is 9 times 5. So you multiply 9 and 5, and it's equal to 45. So this is 45. And what do we do afterwards? We subtract. And we subtract, and 47 divided by 45 is going to equal to, right? And since 2 cannot go to 5, or 5 cannot go to 2 evenly, our remainder is equal to 2. So our quotient is 2 all over 5. That's basically how your long division works. So this is why you need to know your long division to perform division of polynomials like this. So I'm going to work this out first with my colored markers because when we work math, every time we work on problems with long methods, I always wanna use colored markers. All right, I'm going to change this into x minus 2 divided by x squared plus 2x minus 8, which is similar to a long division. So we can convert it this way. And then what we're going to be doing is we are going to be dividing. And when you're dividing polynomials like this, you first divide this and x squared. So you are going to divide x squared and x. What is x squared divided by x? Type it in. And that's correct. X. So the x, let's write x on the other digit right there. So this is x. And then what we're going to do next is just like in long division, we're going to multiply it back to our divisor, which is x minus 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply x to x minus 2. And x times x minus 2 is going to be x squared minus 2x. Right? Oh, I forgot the x in my 2 right here. Okay. That's why he typed x minus 2x. All right, so x squared minus 2x. And then what we're going to do afterwards is we're going to subtract. And when we are subtracting, it's going to be a little bit different because when we subtract, that means all of this will turn into negative because this is going to be negative and this is also going to be negative. So you're going to change its sign. So this will become negative x squared plus 2x. So that is that is your new polynomial right here because we're subtracting it. So this is ignored and you're going to focus here. And what is x squared minus x squared? X squared minus x squared is going to be 0. And that what is 2x plus 2x? 2x plus 2x is 4x. And now we're going to divide 4x later, but we're going to make sure to bring down minus 8 right here. Okay? So now we're going to divide x and 4x. 4x divided by x. So we're going to divide that. What is 4x divided by x? Type it in. And that is correct. It's 4, positive 4. So that is positive 4. And then what we're going to do next is to multiply it back to x minus 2. So we have 4 times x minus 2. And we have 4x minus 8. So now we have 4x minus 8, which we're going to be plugging in this function. Now, don't make this mistake because most students make this mistake forgetting to subtract it. You're not adding, you are subtracting. So what you're going to do is you're going to change the signs of your polynomial because you're going to distribute the negative here and you're going to distribute the negative here. So you'll have negative 4x plus 8. And then you will add. What is 4x minus, I'm sorry, it's supposed to be 4x. 4x right here. What is 4x minus 4x? Type it in. What is 8? Negative 8 plus 8. 0. 0 plus 0, which is 0. That means there's no remainder. So our quotient is going to be x plus 4. And that's how you divide your polynomial. Now, you know you did it correctly if you multiply x minus 2 and x plus 4, and it's going to equal 2x squared plus 2x minus 8. So let's test if our answer is correct. X times x is x squared plus 4x minus 2x minus 8. Combine like terms, x squared plus 2x minus 8, which is the same as that. Okay. Try that one. All right, everybody. Always be systematic. This and this. Then this. And then you multiply it out to x plus 2. X times x. X times 2. And then you are going to subtract it. And we know that when we are subtracting, we're distributing our negative to our polynomial. Let's erase this and focus on our new polynomial. So now we will add it. X squared minus x squared is 0. 7x minus 2x is 5x. And then you bring this little number down. Even though you're not going to use it yet, you just have to bring it down because you're going to make a binomial in a little while. So now we're going to divide x and 5x. And what is 5x divided by x? And then we will multiply it out again to the divisor. Okay. This becomes 5x. This becomes 10. Positive. And now we're going to subtract it. Minus. And we know that if we subtract it, we're going to distribute the negative sign. So this is negative 5x minus 10. So ignore this and focus your attention to your new polynomial. What is 5x minus 5x? What is 10 minus 10? So the quotient is x plus 5. Can you type in yes if you did it correctly? I just want to see how many of you got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And the other people are lying maybe. Okay, let's have another one so that we'll have more of you who will get this right. And again, just like in any math skill, every time you're doing a math skill for the first time, expect to make mistake and expect that it could be a little bit frustrating at the beginning. However, the more that you do a certain process, the more that you get comfortable with it. And that is the main goal of our lesson today. Because I know that we can do this in like 30 seconds in a different method, but I want you to understand this because I need to make sure that you are trying to think in our class. X squared plus 5x minus 21 by x minus 3. Okay, do that. Okay, so x squared and x is equal to x. I'll write x here. And then I will multiply x with x minus 3, which gives me x squared minus 3x. And then I'll have my new polynomial because I need to distribute the negative sign. So this becomes negative x squared plus 3x. This cancels out because x squared minus x squared is 0. Then 5x plus 5x plus 3x is 8x. Bring down 21. Then for my next move, this and this. So I'll have 8x all over x, which gives me 8, positive. And then I will multiply 8 with x minus 3. 8x, 24? Is it 24? Minus 24, right? And then I'm going to subtract it. So this becomes negative and this becomes positive. Okay, 8x minus 8x is 0. Negative 21 plus 24 is positive. Okay, there's a remainder. Where did I go wrong? Did I multiply it wrong? I'm so stupid. But anyhow, it happens. We have remainders. Okay. Not because you are having a remainder in your polynomial, that doesn't mean that your answer is wrong. There is a possibility that you will have a remainder. So your remainder is equal to 3. So now how are we going to write our final answer? X plus 8. The remainder is positive, so it's positive 3 all over x minus 3. FOIL method. Now, since I've introduced the remainder and most of you were able to find the remainder, good job. And we did 2 examples already. I'm going to show you another way on how you divide a polynomial. We call it synthetic division. And synthetic division is another way of dividing polynomials using kind of like a matrix, rows and column, but in a different way. And if you did your homework, you already know what synthetic division is. So I'm going to be using the same example that we use right here. This is our very first example, I believe. And we divided x squared plus 2x minus 8 by x minus 2. And we know that the answer is x plus 4. Now the question is, how are we going to produce that answer using synthetic division. So the first thing that you need to do is conversion. To convert this into a synthetic division, you're going to be using x squared plus 2x minus 8 and use its coefficient. The coefficient of x squared is 1. The coefficient of 2x is 2. And the constant is -8. So we will have 1, 2, and -8. So those are the numbers that we're going to be using in our synthetic division. And then the next thing that we're going to do is for our divisor. And our divisor will be the solution of x minus 2. X minus 2 is equal to 0. And we know that x minus 2 is equal to 0. You add 2 on both sides. So you'll have x is equal to 2. And that is one of our solutions. So our solution is x equal to 2. So we are using positive 2. So it's safe to say that if your divisor is x minus 2, your synthetic division divisor is going to be positive 2. And if your divisor is x plus 8, your divisor in your synthetic division is -8. All right? So keep that in mind. Now that we have set up our matrix, sort of matrix, because it's rows and column, we're going to perform our long division. And to do that, step 1, bring down the first coefficient and you start multiplying it with your divisor. 1 times 2 is 2. And then you add it up to your coefficient. 2 plus 2 is 4. And you divide it again. What is 4 divided by 2? 4 divided by 2 is equal to, you multiply 1, 2. 4 times 2, I'm sorry, times. 4 times 2 is going to be positive 8. Not divide, multiply. And then you will subtract. So we're not dividing, we're multiplying. So -8 plus 8 is equal to 0. So now we have 1, 4, and 0. And our 1, 4, and 0 is our answer, but we need to change it in standard form. And how are we going to change it in standard form? This is another technique. It's synthetic. And the term is going to be, if your highest exponent in your polynomial is a square, you just subtract 1 from it, and that will be the highest exponent of your quotient. So since the highest exponent is 2, our highest exponent and our answer is 1. So it's x to the 1, and this is x to the 0. And this is going to be our remainder. And that is going to be our answer. 1 x to the 1 plus 4 x to the 0 plus a remainder of 0. And we know that a remainder of 0 is nothing. But what do we know about x raised to 0? X raised to 0 is equal to 1. That's why our answer is x plus 4. Let's answer this. Step 1, conversion. We have 1, 7, and 10. And then our divisor, x plus 2. So x plus 2 equal to 0. X is equal to -2. And this is our matrix. -2, 1, 7, 10. And then we proceed to our synthetic division. Bring this down. And then you multiply. 1 times -2 is -2. 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 times -2 is -10. And this is equal to 0. So our answer is going to be 1 minus the highest exponent. So it will be x to the 1, x to the 0, and constant. X to the 1, x to the 0, and our remainder. So our answer is 1x plus 5x to the 0, or simply x plus 5. There are 3 types of polynomial that you can divide using synthetic division. And I'm going to show you the difference and tell me the difference between them. What is the difference between 1, 2, and 3? Just in your own mathematical reasoning.
Abdul said exponents, and I agree. Abdul said exponents, and I agree.
Exponents, yes, I agree. So what about the exponents? What did you notice about the exponents that's different? Let's start with number 2 compared to number 1. What is the big difference on their exponents?
Order.
Ordering.
Yes.
Or ordery.
They're not in order, or they're not in standard form. Because in standard form, the highest exponent comes first and then the constant at the very end. So that's one difference that I want you to see in problem number 2. What about problem number 3? What is the difference between, the difference that you're seeing on example number 3?
It's lacking the exponents in between the 5 and the 2.
Yeah,
It's lacking the exponent in between the 5 and the 2, and that is correct. There are some missing exponents or gaps in between. So for number 1, it's pretty straightforward. You can use synthetic division right away. So no adjustments, no modification. You can just write -2 divided by 1, 2, -1, -3. And then you'll have your quotient. Number 2, however, is different because you need to rearrange it. So you need to fix it. And to fix it, you need to rearrange it. And we're going to rearrange it. So we will have x cubed 2x squared plus x plus 1 divided by x minus 1. And now that you have rearranged it, you'll have 1, 2, 1, 1 divided by 1. And then you divide it. That's number 2. How about number 3? What do you think am I going to do to fix it? Tell me. What am I gonna do to fix number 3?
Add zeros.
Add zeros. You need to add in placeholder or gap holder for each of the missing exponents, and you will replace it with 0. The highest exponent is 5, so that means you need to have x to the 5th plus x to the 4th, which is missing, x cubed, which is also missing, and then you have the square, which is not missing, and the constant. What else is missing? Do I have another missing variable? I'll answer it, yes, we have. Plus 0, x to the 1, and then the constant. And then you divide it by x minus 1. So how do you know that you have the correct number of terms? If your exponent is 5, your number of terms should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have a complete set of polynomial. So now we have 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, -3 divided by +1. And that's what we're going to divide. All right, can you please give me the quotient of 1, 2, and 3? Kevin has -1, 5, and 0. Adam's apple is -1, 5, 0. Burke is the same as what? Same as what? Same as who? Same as -5, -1, 5, 0, -1, 5, 0, -1, 5, 0, -1, 5, 0, -1, 5, 0. I don't know. I'll answer it. Hopefully my multiplication is correct and my addition is correct. So my remainder is -1 on the first problem, and my equation should be, the highest exponent is 3, so it will be x squared plus 0x to the 1 minus 1x to the 0 minus 1 all over x minus 2. So it's going to be x squared minus 1 minus 1 all over x minus 2. So that's my answer for problem number 1. Number 2, I have negative 1 and positive 5, and then the answer would be and the last one. Most of their answers are 0. Make sure you're doing your every little move correctly. Even the most important part is copying the questions right. So our remainders are negative 1, 5, and 0. Synthetic division. So, recap of what we just did today. Today we did division of polynomial divided by a monomial. So when that happens, you separate each fraction and then you simplify each of the fraction to have your quotient. So that's the easier problem. Now we did long division. That's the second skill you've learned, and synthetic division, the third skill you've learned today. So for today, you've worked on a lot of problems. All right. So just watch out for our topic on Monday. Make sure to turn in your work on Sunday. And that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Next time. Bye.